On a bright May morning at an airfield near Silverstone in Northamptonshire, the flags of various nations frame a scene of intense activity. Here, on this British motor racing circuit, the world's leading aces, along with supercars, mobile workshops, team managers, mechanics, and all the necessary paraphernalia, are preparing for the grandest of all races, the Prix d'Or. Participants hail from Italy, France, Switzerland, Belgium, Siam, Argentina, and of course, Great Britain. It's a colourful and significant day for British motorsport. This year, the Royal Automobile Club has the honour of organising this Battle of the Giants, marking the first time the title has ventured outside France or Italy. In the paddock, mechanics and drivers apply the final touches to their cars, while under the marquees, a welcome is prepared for the vast concourse of 100,000 people attending the race. It's a day of great motorist gathering, a day for parties, official functions, and pride. At a cocktail party hosted by the Guild of Motoring Writers for the Foreign Press and officials, Colonel F. Stanley Barnes and John Cobb, holder of the world's land speed record, meet old friends. The internationally famous figure, Oho, is spotted wearing his customary cap. While some enjoy the food line, the preparatory work continues, with final touches applied to the stairs and scoreboards in the paddock. We catch a glimpse of Bob Gerard, one of Britain's leading drivers, discussing race plans with his wife, Joan. Cuth Harrison, another fine driver, ponders his attire. The Alfa Romeo mechanics and team manager manage a brief smile amidst their labours. A mechanic, impressed by the handily placed mobile post office, sends a postcard home. As the time for the cars to be on the course draws near, we see France's hope in Grand Prix racing, the big and powerful Talbot Lago. It's much larger and heavier than the 1.5-litre two-stage supercharged Alfa Romeo 158S. Based on past performance, the 8-cylinder Alphas are the fastest post-war cars, becoming today's leading attraction. Spectators have been arriving since early morning to secure their vantage points around the 2.8-mile course. Press officer Dudley Noble is besieged by the nation's newspapers, regretfully informing them that no track passes are left. Earlier, the chairman of the Guild of Motoring Writers, along with others, discusses the race. For the enormous crowd, there's a pre-race curtain raiser, the public debut of the BRM car, built by a group of enthusiastic firms and individuals aiming to establish Britain in Grand Prix racing. Raymond Mays showcases it around the course, ramping up excitement. The cars leave the paddock for the pits, with number 11, Harrison's ERA, looking impeccably prepared. Last-minute adjustments are made as the cars take up positions in front of their pits. Number 23, the British ERA driven by Geoffrey Taylor, is also in line. The drivers, although tense, hide it well in these nerve-wracking moments before heading to the starting line. The crowd's attention shifts to the arrival of the King and Queen, accompanied by Princess Margaret and Lord and Lady Mountbatten. It's a historic moment, the first time the reigning sovereign has attended a motor race in Great Britain. The drivers are presented to the royal party, with the Queen chatting with Baron de Graffenried and Princess Margaret inquiring about Bira's chances against the powerful Italian team. The royal party returns to the royal box, where representatives of national motoring organizations from France, Italy, Argentina, Belgium, Holland, Norway, Portugal, Sweden, Switzerland, and the United States, guests of the Royal Automobile Club. With the royal standard flying over the course, drivers return to their cars and officials clear the course for the start. Gerard's Old Faithful is the first to roar, a sound beloved by racing fans. Under Graffenried is all set. Vera sits in the cockpit giving final instructions, and the cars line up alongside the pits. Some of the drivers have still not appeared, but they're in the background not far away. The starting grid for the 1950 British Grand Prix was organised into 6 rows, alternating between 4 and 3 cars per row. On the 6th row, in 21st position, we have Johnny Claes, a London-born Belgian racer driving his Talbot Lago T26C. Claes, a driver with considerable experience in previous Grand Prix races, has achieved 2 podium finishes with 2 third places. From Great Britain, in 20th position, is Joe Fry. With only 2 Grand Prix participations, Fry is nonetheless an experienced driver in other categories, holding several hill climb records. He enters today's race as a private pilot with his Maserati 4CL. In 19th, racing as a privateer, is the Irishman Joe Kelly with his Alta GP. Kelly is relatively new to these races. In 18th place, the Scotsman David Murray races for the Scuderia Ambrosiana team in a Maserati 4 CLT/48. Murray is a driver with limited experience. In 17th position is the Englishman Jeff Crossley. Having participated in 4 non-championship Grand Prix, he is yet to achieve notable results. He enters this Grand Prix as a private driver with his Alta GP. In 16th is another English driver, David Hampshire. With over 20 non-championship Grand Prix races, mostly as a private driver, Hampshire has secured 1 second place and 1 third place. In this Grand Prix, he races with Team Scuderia Ambrosiana in a Maserati 4 CLT/48. Closing the 5th row in 15th position is English driver Cuth Harrison, participating as a private driver with his outdated ERA B car. Harrison is an experienced driver with several races in non-championship Grand Prix, achieving 3 podiums with third places. Moving to the 4th row in 14th position is the French driver Philippe Étincelin, running as a private driver with his Talbot Lago T26C. Away from his prime, Étincelin has 5 podiums and 1 victory in non-championship Grand Prix races from 1947 to 1950. Before World War II, from 1927 to 1934, he was considered one of the best drivers, winning 17 Grand Prix races and once the 24 Hours of Le Mans. In 13th position is English driver Bob Gerard, a successful driver participating in numerous Grand Prix races and winning 5 times with his own team, Bob Gerard Racing. Today, he races as a private driver with his ERA BC. Completing the 4th row in 12th position is Leslie Johnson, racing with the official ERA team in the updated ERA E model. Johnson has competed in various race competitions but has yet to achieve significant success. Starting the 3rd row and one of the main stars, in 11th position, is the Monegasque Louis Chiron. One of the very best of his time and now in the twilight of his career, Chiron has won 22 Grand Prix races, including an impressive 5 victories in the prestigious French Grand Prix. Today, he races for Team Maserati in a Maserati 4 CLT/48. In 10th position is the Englishman Peter Walker, racing as a private driver with his ERA E car. One of the least experienced drivers on the grid, he has raced a few times with only a 2nd place at the Goodwood Trophy 2. In 9th is the French Louis Rosier, driving for Team Écurie Rosier in a Talbot Lago T26C. An experienced driver, Rosier has participated in many non-championship Grand Prix, accumulating several podiums and 2 victories. Closing the 3rd row in 8th position is Swiss driver Emmanuel de Graffenried, racing for Team Enrico Platé in a Maserati 4 CLT/48. A skilled driver, de Graffenried has raced in numerous non-championship Grand Prix accumulating plenty of podiums and a few wins, especially in 1949, with 2 victories and consistent top 5 finishes. On the second row in 7th position is the French Eugène Martin, racing with the official Talbot Dirac team in the latest model T26 CDA. Still proving his worth, Martin has achieved some podiums. In 6th, another Frenchman and teammate, Yves Giraud-Cabantous, races for the official Talbot Dirac team. An experienced driver, he has several Grand Prix races with 2 wins and many podiums. A great talent, but facing a challenge today against the Alfa Romeos. In 5th, the best of the rest is Prince Bira. One of the most charismatic drivers and a member of the Thai royal family, he is a very experienced and successful driver with 3 victories in Grand Prix races and several podiums. Today, beating the Alfa Romeos will not be easy. Starting the first row in 4th position is the Englishman Reg Parnell, a talented driver who has won many races in different categories. Today, he competes for a win with his Alfa Romeo 158. In 3rd position, one of the best drivers on the grid, the Argentinian Juan Manuel Fangio races with the Alfa Romeo team. A dominant figure in races in Argentina and Brazil, he maintains his form in Europe with 7 wins in Grand Prix races. In 2nd place is the Italian Luigi Fagioli, also driving an Alfa Romeo. A true legend and one of the best post-World War drivers, Fagioli has won countless races. At 52, he is still a contender in this race. Securing pole position is the Italian racing legend, Giuseppe Farina, anchoring the formidable Alfa Romeo lineup. As a top contender for today's victory, Farina brings a storied career predominantly with Alfa Romeo, complemented by a successful stint with Scuderia Ferrari. His impressive track record, marked by numerous victories in both pre- and post-World War races, underscores his status as one of the elite racers in today's grid. His experience and skill position him as a formidable force in the race, making him a favorite to watch. The crowd waits expectantly. The inside circuit is packed, but the excitement is palpable. With only minutes left, there's still action in front of the pits as the warming up spark plugs are changed for the racing type. Colonel Barnes, the clerk of the course, signals the drivers to the starting grid. They have 1 warm-up lap before reaching their positions. Here they are, the 21 starters of the 1950 Grand Prix, lined up for the start with the 4 fastest Alfa Romeos in practice in the front row. An official warns of the passing minutes. With 1 minute to go, the cars are started up, and the drivers tensely await the flag drop, and they're off. A good start with the Alphas in the lead and the pack stirring behind. Mechanics and others scramble back to the pits, stopwatches in operation. Farina leads the first lap in 1 minute 50.6 seconds at a speed of 94.02 miles per hour, closely followed by teammates Fangio and Parnell. The British corner, the British ERA, Maserati and Martin in the Talbot are in pursuit. Early retirements include Leslie Johnson, C.R. Harrison, On the hangout straight, the Alphas reach well over 100 miles per hour. Their acceleration through the corners is striking impressive. The royal party is personally conducted around the inside of the circuit by Percival Finn Andrews, and officials of the Royal Automobile Club watches the racing from specially erected stands directed at different points. The King and Queen show keen interest in every detail, inquiring about the speed, driver technique, and car types. The four Alphas continue to dominate race, but now, the while a majority has taken the lead from Farina, but less than half a second, Fangio is third, Parnell fourth, and 2 Maseratis. The Italian racing colours, their million red, are the first 6 places. Behind come the Talbots, Cabantas and Rosier, next Gerard and Harrison, both rather having their own private ERA cars, 19 laps covered, and Farina is back in the lead, a second ahead of Fagioli. More cars are in trouble. Louis Chiron and Bira Maseratis have retired, but the Alphas are still lapping steadily around 91 miles per hour. David Murray brings his Maserati into the pits and complains overheating and lack of horses. You're quite right, David, it is hot. Now what to do? A quick consultation and the is found to be too hot to continue, just another retirement. "36 laps covered just over half distance. Farina is still in the lead with Fangio second and Parnell in third. Crossley brings his Alta for refueling. He pressure hoses failed and the car has to be refueled by hand. As a result of this mishap, the operation takes 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Fangio has already suffered refueling. It only occupied 25 seconds, but lost him the third place. Parnell stops later, just 30 seconds. Wonderful examples of efficient pit management by the Alfa Romeo organization. The four Alphas continue to draw steadily away from the rest of the field, but the interest of the crowd is maintained. Talbot's still running, one driven by Johnny Clays, Bob Gerard, and Harrison ERAs, and David Hampshire and Joe Fry Maseratis are still there. There comes unfortunate news for D. Graffenried, who's been chasing the French drivers. He has retired with a broken connecting rod, and his car is pushed off the course, and the driver, a picture of utter dejection, returns slowly on foot to the pit. The royal party makes a tour on the pits to talk to the background. Unexpected development, a terrific duel has arisen between Farina and Fangio, now in second place. Signals go out for the Alpha driver. Watches and lap times have been carefully checked. And then comes the board: Farina, Fangio, Fagioli, and Parnell. At 60 laps with less than 30 miles to go, the position remains unchanged, with Farina only half a second ahead over Fangio, and with only a few miles to go, the crowd groans as the loudspeakers announce Fangio's retirement due to a broken oil pipe. Farina crosses the finish line, the winner at an average speed of 90.95 miles per hour. It's a great Italian victory, with Fagioli second and Parnell third. The French cars of Cabantus and Rosier come on fourth and fifth, and the ERAs of Gerard and Harrison comes on sixth and seventh. The crowd invades the track to pay tribute to the drivers. Paul Wyatt, a guild member, records the memorable scene for newsreels. As the band plays the Italian national anthem, the drivers line up in front of the royal box to receive their awards. A great day for Giuseppe Farina, Doctor of Engineering and racing driver, indeed proud and happy. He thanks the crowd for its wonderful welcome. "I have one great desire," he says, "to come to Silverstone again and again." Nino Farina triumphed in the inaugural Formula One Grand Prix, securing victory with his Alfa Romeo. The podium was an Alfa Romeo sweep, with Luigi Fagioli finishing second and Reg Parnell claiming third place. Farina led the race for an impressive 63 laps, showcasing his dominance, while Fagioli took the lead for 6 laps, and Juan Manuel Fangio for a brief single lap. In the final standings, the best non-Alfa Romeo driver was the Frenchman Giraud Cabantous of Team Talbot Lago, finishing in 4th. In 5th place was another French driver, Louis Rosier, representing his own team and driving a Talbot Lago model. The first private driver to cross the finish line was the British Bob Gerard in 6th place, steering his ERA car, followed by fellow Brit Cuth Harrison in another ERA vehicle in 7th. In 8th place was the Frenchman Philippe Étincelin, a private runner with his Talbot Lago, while the 9th position went to British David Hampshire of Scuderia Ambrosiana in a Maserati, the only Maserati to complete the race. The 10th position was shared by Joe Fry, who completed 45 laps, and Swan Taylor, who finished the remaining 19 laps, totaling 64 laps, which was 6 behind the winner, Nino Farina. Other notable drivers, including Juan Manuel Fangio, did not finish the race. Fangio, particularly, was forced to retire his car due to issues just 8 laps before the race's conclusion while running in 2nd place.